Karen is able to find that last pick. Now USF are able to find 3. And John Jay, they are once again not able to secure a pistol.
Yeah, this is the third round, or pistol round, I should say, in a row here for USF up against John Jay. Seems like they're very confident going into their pistols, secure it, usually no problem, are able to get that second round. But again, the worry comes when John Jay College gets those rifles in hand, because it seems like they win out quite a few of those aim duels and are able to scale up over their utility more. And now we're actually seeing a 5-stack here coming out from John Jay College over towards the A site. 3 members already walking all the way up towards A short. However, despite using the numbers to their advantage, not able to glean any kills from it so far. And the Boombot not going to be able to spot out Hello Panda. Going to be good for 1 pickup, but doesn't matter because May is there to clean up anyways.
And USF, that's a pretty clean round for themselves. And now they're just going to be able to carry on those Spectres into their bonus. While John Jay, they have to be a little bit more careful because they're starting on the defense. They really don't get any of that extra money like attackers do when they initiate that spike. So now they have one player that is sitting on the half shields instead of full. A little less health for John Jay, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference if they're able to take these long range battles, and those are really the angles that the Spectre really struggles at, and they just need to make sure to not get run and gunned at any given moment. But it seems like they're going to be fighting for showers control.
Yeah, aggressive guiding light to go out. We'll get the flash down, and Karen's actually there to get 2 refrags, so a lot of value and impact out of those kills, because these guns and rifles are really easy to recover for the attackers down in showers. Already tossing one out towards front showers to try and send that over. It seems like Karen has a bit of a preference when it comes down to the skins though. Spike initiated here in front truck. Still getting really aggressive and what looked like to be around. You expect John Jay College to win out. Karen seems to be turning in the favor of USF.
Ooh, Eden though, now in a 1v1 with the enemy Killjoy. Needs to make sure there's no nanoswarms on the spike. Oh no, there's the Killjoy misfire again! And Eden is dead. Gets taken down by Jinx. I know, that was an XF moment. You saw that, right? That wasn't just me. The turret totally just fired at the spike.
That's actually, it didn't even fire at front U-Haul. It literally fired it down at the
spike. Round rollback, guys. Round rollback. That was misinformation.
Unfortunately, I don't really think it's considered a glitch, but I'm not. Yeah, that was a really interesting play. We won't dwell on it for too long. But Boombot to go clear out towards Huga. There is an alarm bot watching though, so once that gets triggered, you'll have that swarm grenade propped. The second one already expended towards long as well. Look at this push out. You have 2 flanking here towards A short, I believe. No, I can't count. It's just 1. But there is the trademark watching. Oh, the trademark's down. There's some chamber.
Oh,
check right.
Chamber's
check
dead.
right.
Oh.
The barrel of the gun.
She saw
no.
The barrel of the gun.
Wait,
did she
not?
She didn't see it. Oh god. What is this? Neko able to take down 1. And unfortunately, John Jay cannot press an advantage any further. That was so good, but ooh. Nice shot from Hello Panda. The Prowler finding 1 as well. The Haunt going out. The Spade utility can be huge in this retake. Chef is able to find 1, and Pauline just takes out the Classic for another. And there's a Vandal recovered. This is looking like a Thrifty. The Guiding Light to stall out Neko. Another one just to be a little bit more toxic. Neko swings out. Pauline gets the pick and is able to get the defuse as well.
Alt Orb also invested into the Seekers in Chef's hands. So we have the Orbital Strike available here for Pauline. It'll be huge for either, you know, denying a plant situation or even on the retake to zone out towards U-Haul if USF elects to take control of that portion of the map on A. And the only ultimates are actually going to be both Orbital Strikes on either side. However, Karen 1 away from the Nightfall. It looks like USF is looking to take control of B long, try to secure that ult orb into one of their players' hands.
An alt orb would definitely be able to turn the tide of this round potentially. But it seems like there is a lot of presence towards B long, so they're definitely giving that up pretty readily on the side of John Jay, instead just backing off into elbow and backside, just easily retreatable positions. And they also have that prowler going on through, so they know there's at least one player towards that hookah side. And it's actually a lot of aggression though, and the rotation through market can be caught out by Hail to Polo if Hail to Polo doesn't...
Wait.
Oh. No, that was such a good power position, but Hello Panda only be able to find one. I think Hail to Polo, these flanks are just not going well for her so far.
I think that is a really tough situation because you hear the TP, so it draws your attention over towards the right side. Meanwhile, you had the free rotation coming through over on the left as well. But regardless, spike initiated here on top truck, and really cheeky nano swarm locations just placed on top of the wheels there. You normally look down on the ground to shoot out those nano swarms, so those might be hard to find for John Jay College on this retake.
Oh, I feel bad for John Jay. They're just gonna tap that spike. The nano swarms actually both being popped as well as the orbital strike, so I think that's a little bit of a misfire, at least from the side of USF, but they're still able to take down all those players and get themselves up to 4.
Honestly though, not too surprising that they were popped either. You run the risk of, okay, there's someone on the spike. They could potentially run out of the orbital strike, but if you just layer on all of that damage, almost guarantees a melt if they are in the middle there. Plus, the orbital strike would have, I'm pretty sure, killed the nanoswarms anyway, so they wouldn't have been available. They had to be popped first, so you might as well use them rather than just lose them, I guess. And now, John Jay College, they really seem to be struggling on the defense right now, and I think you're right about that, Epitomes. Some of these flanks that have come through just haven't really paid off, and John Jay College, instead of investing in that, maybe could adjust and just play the retake instead.
There's the Nightfall there to at least spot out the player in back truck, but you still have that player tucked in the A site cubby, and now the Seekers as well. Chef is trying to find value, trying to help out the team, but unfortunately Pauline, she's going to be the one to fall, and Chef can't secure the refrag either, and it's just a meltdown on the front site. They seem to be unable to defend. Seas doesn't find info either. I actually feel like USF, they might be running away with at least this half.
Ooh, time will tell. It depends on if John Jay College can make adjustments going into the second quarter of this game. Eden has only a Marshall in hand, so looking to at least draw some attention still over towards the A site. Hopefully try and secure some spike deaths there, but Hello Panda with the rifle in hand and full shields makes the getaway card over towards elbow to hide out. And unfortunately, nobody will be falling over towards the spike here on the side of USF. No exit frags to be gleaned this time around.
Yeah, Hello Panda definitely felt like she didn't really want to play for exits there, even though there was only one player that headed towards CT, opened up themselves up for a lot more aggression from all sides. And now it's going to be a timeout for John Jay. I think this is probably well timed. They're 1-5. Want to keep USF off of that 6th point, but they don't have too much money to buy back. I feel like they might be able to force some rifles into the round, but it might not be full shields for everyone, aka Eden not having either full util or full shields.
I think what would be interesting too is USF, you know, they've had success on both sites, but seem to very much so favor attacking towards A because they don't have to deal with the Killjoy utility. I would like to see John Jay College maybe moving their Sentinel around over towards the A side, playing that as maybe a 3-stack over there and a very passive 2-stack on B, play the retake on that side. But we'll see if the adjustment does come through. And from the looks of it, that is exactly going to be the play here for Eden is dead. She's making her way over towards A, going to use her utility to her full ability.
And instead, on that B side, it seems like they're moving that fade over along with the raise, which is a combo that I do like a lot better. But the fact that they're dedicating Pauline as well towards B when their A site retakes have just been not fruitful at all is a little worrying to me, because while yes you do have that killjoy, I still think that the A site benefits a lot more from having those 3 players rather than 2, just because you have to worry about showers and short, which you can't really watch from sitting on the same angle like you can with hookah and garden. So now they have that smoke going down. USF, they've used that boom buddy early, and instead of going for a huge rotation, I think that Trailblazer doesn't spot anyone out in short either. So still no rotation being called yet though, and these are aggressive positions from John Jay.
Spike down B.
Ooh, aggressive positions. Traded out though. So 4v4 situation here. And potential to take the TP if absolutely necessary. Hello Panda actually going to go for the swing, thinking that she's only isolating 1 player, but actually pulls up to a squad of 3. At the very least, there is a lockdown available as well as the showstopper. That could be a really interesting combination to use. Throw down that lockdown, use the showstopper on the retake, try to chase down the players who are running through towards long. And the first ultimate will be the lockdown to come out here towards elbow. And just trying to buy a little bit of time before trying to push in. Chef, huge with some pickups.
And now the lockdown forcing all the players off the site. Ooh, the showstopper is going to be really scary though. They might want to wait for that to run out before they're able to tap that spike. Oh, spots one out. Both the fire from the Tour de Force as well as the showstopper. Eden is dead, does get taken down. The satchel peak. Chef, nice shots there. Both shots. And now has to find the defuse. I'm not sure if she has enough time.
It'll be good.
Oh, they can do it. Yeah. It is 1 whole second left over, but a clutch from Chef, and that is definitely the momentum change that they need. It's a momentum shift, having that 1 player be able to secure the frags, and definitely going to be helpful that it happened off the back of their timeout. So now that they know they are, the fruits of their labor and discussion are now finally bearing. I'm not really sure where this analogy is going, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. What's interesting though is we actually saw the read. Eden originally was going to go set up over towards B, and now that USF knows that Eden is set up on the A site, they're avoiding that Killjoy utility at all costs. They don't want to push through it. You don't have a KO here in either of these team compositions to nullify the Killjoy. So instead, leaning towards the B side. But I don't think they know that they have 3 stacked here on side of John Jay College either. Hello Panda, the only one being spotted out so far by the Haunt.
Ooh, and Pauline finding that one onto Nico, and Hello Panda finding another. The showstopper being expended to no value, but at the same time, USF, they are at such a player disadvantage, and that momentum shift, you can see it in action now. The fact that they've already gotten these many picks, they're positioning a lot better here. But Karen, can she be the change maker for this squad? Now in a 1v3 with Spike down, not in an easily recoverable position either. You see those players in hookah, but they're playing a little bit awkwardly. They're expecting the swing out from CT and instead are not directly watching the elbow angle. Pauline, however, is going to see the swing and also find the pick. It's a free picked up gun for John Jay as well, and they're slowly closing this gap.
Also really nice off-angle positioning from Pauline, not only playing a very odd angle in Octagon, but also playing the upper on top of that bench as well to give just that additional advantage of, you know, the likelihood that the enemy would be aiming towards your chest level instead of your head. But now they will be moving back towards the B site here. USF looking to avoid the Killjoy at all costs possible. It's a half buy for them. Largely Spectres across the board, running up through B long, and actually not making any moves to secure any hookah control quite yet.
You should run.
Destroying the Haunt early. They're going to use the Orbital Strike in Garden. It's actually not going to find much, but at least it does destroy the lockdown. So it's really nicely done, at least from John Jay, to make sure they don't commit to that site. Instead, forcing them towards the Killjoy site. But they're coming in from showers, so all that short utility might not find as much value as they would like. Eden backing off a little bit more whilst watching the Showers position, and ooh, Chef going so aggressive here, now leaving Elite Eden alone to defend, but at least the rotations are coming through, and oh, Hail the Polo, such a nice boom buddy to take down the Spike Carrier, and the Haunt once again destroyed. Karen in a 2v3, make that a 1v3, Neko finds one, but still
30 seconds left.
so good. Just really nice pinch from John Jay. They're making really good adaptations here. I like that they're trying to force them off the site, but USF, they really put everything in the B take off the back of that lockdown, and once it was destroyed, it seemed like they were in a mad scramble to get that spike down despite how much time they had left.
Yeah, I think that's the big difference between these two teams, is that overall, over the span of this particular map, John Jay College has a lot of macro adjustments that do come through. Meanwhile, for USF, they seem to have a really good starting idea of what they want to do, those pre-round calls for the site execution, but when it comes to the mid-rounding and they get stopped in their tracks, have a bit more trouble adjusting and figuring out how they want to go about their planned attack going forward. But now stalled out once again here towards B. We're going to see that Nightfall being ripped and really straightforward dash onto the B site here.
No, Teddy is in such good position. Finding two there, and it's off the back of the Nightfall as well. Hello Panda coming in through the hookah position, is unable to get the C's off, but knows there's one tucked in the corner, wins the gunfight, but is left at 3 HP. Haunt thrown out onto the site now, and Eden looking to capitalize off of it, but unfortunately doesn't find anything, and there's also a player creeping into elbow. Teddy is very low. A spam through the boxes could do her in, but May has her back, and now Hello Panda, 3 HP and a Dream looking to save the rifle, but May peeks out at the right time. Once again, the Brimstone finally pulling them back into the clutches. It's 6-4.
The other thing that's tough about this Epitomes is the fact that USF, on the attacking side right now, already have 6 rounds under their belt. And on Bind, that's considered like a really good half, I would say, considering how defensive heavy Bind leans towards just as far as map structure goes. And then going on to the side swap, like, I really feel like we may head over to that third map here tonight, considering the fact that they are going to be having to face up against 2 Sentinels on the side of USF when John Jay College swaps over to the attacking side.
USF and John Jay, I mean, they also have the double Sentinel, right, like you said. So on the defense, this is going to be a real struggle bus for John Jay if they can't get their momentum started. And now, this huge flank coming in though. Smoke.
I also don't know how many. It's all of them. This could really catch them off guard.
To get really caught out here. Pauline just going to find that first, the Vandal down in Garden, and there's no one really to stop it, but Jinx in such a good position, unfortunately is unable to destroy the Boom Buddy, and Hail to Polo is able to just duck under the crosshair, still relatively healthy as well. Teddy taking down Pauline, however. Now Hail to Polo needs to check the cubby, and Neko's there with a judge, and now it's all left up to Chef, and Chef has done big things before. Can't do them again. 7-4, and the best that John Jay can hope for is a 7-5.
For an eco, though, not bad whatsoever. They did do a lot of damage over towards USF, and despite the fact, I mean, USF, you know, they're still being able to buy up, but it also just allotted a little bit more cushion to some of those members over on John Jay College as well, with the damage done and the kills. But going into this next round, there's only one ulti available here. Orbital Strike. And that's important to keep track of because you can see how John Jay College is avoiding playing in U-Haul at the moment. You don't want to get isolated in there and completely melted by the ultimate. Lose somebody on your team pretty early on. But it doesn't seem like May is looking to use it in that fashion anyways. Just waiting for that smoke to fade before laying smokes down of their own. And as I say that, we're actually seeing a rotation now being pulled over towards the B side.
Hail Apollo, nice first pick. Taking Neko off the board means that fragging potential, and they also now know where the spike is, and even though it's been picked up pretty quickly, oh, the Prowler onto Hello Panda, unfortunately unable to get out. That seize wasn't enough to stall out the players, I think just missing, and now using this haunt in order to get info onto the site. A quick rotation being made. USF still at the player disadvantage, but now Eden taking out the swarm grenades in order to clear out Hookah, and them just going through the teleporter. Lots of teleporter plays coming out from USF, especially in the recent rounds, but it's aggressive in showers. Chef is able to find two. Hailed Apollo taking out the showstopper, but it's Jinx Rose that's on the site, and the Seekers know it. The rocket launcher is just trying to follow up, and there's the paint shells as well. Hailed Apollo finds a headshot, and John Jay end it 5-7.
Not much you could do there on the side of Jinx Rose, but we are going to be swapping sides now. 7-5 is also the most deceiving half of the game. One pistol round and the buy-up, and you could easily be tied up if you are that team that is down 2 points. But looking at... Okay, interesting. We're seeing... Okay, no. Okay, I gotcha. Still interesting, though. So you're seeing the typical stack over towards the A side here from John Jay College. Gonna throw down that TP down in U-Haul for a quick rotate over towards... Oh, okay. So starting off at B, which I think is I'm gonna add an additional interesting on top of there because you already have util for days locking down the B site and investing the extra person, but it looks like it may just all be worthwhile considering this heavy lean to split B here coming out from John Jay College.
Go for the teleport, then you have to make that long rotation around again, and you're kind of abandoning the players on your site here. And now they've already pressured them all the way back in. They're not fighting for the extremities of the site anymore. And now we see that there's been util used by both sides. There's the guiding light as well to find the info. Knows there's someone close, gets spotted out, and doesn't use teleport just yet though. Chef has a scuffle in, but ends up going through the teleporter, and that's where the spike is headed anyway. But unfortunately that sound cue is going to force a rotation out of USF and means there's a few more players to contend with on the site. And Karen has been playing extremely well in the past 2 games, so she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Haunt destroyed. Karen dancing back into the U-Haul, and it's the worst nightmare. The Boom Buddy coming in. Pauline secures that frag finally, and it's only 1 trade back.
Whew. Equal 4v4 situation on the retake. Late rotation come in also from USF. Hello Panda able to gather an additional person advantage for their team. And we're going to see May pushing in, actually able to refrag themselves, and Neko doing so much work with this 3K is going to help USF secure the pistol round once again here up against John Jay College. That's tough. I mean, it's definitely not, it's not over. That by no means is it over. That's not what I'm about to say, but I'm trying to figure out the words I'm trying to put into formation at the moment. And that the pistol round was like the important round to win, right? To try and close that gap early. But at the same time, we've also seen what thrifty rounds John Jay College can pull off. So might see that again here on the attacking side. But on binds, it's a little bit more difficult than when you're on the defense.
That's not ready.
Yeah, I feel like though in the last game we had both Hail the Polo and Chef just completely popping off, right? But you don't have that now into this game, and I think it's causing John Jay a lot of, just a lot of growing pains. Like they just seem to be very uncomfortable when Hail the Polo isn't going to pop off along with Chef. So they kind of need to find a way to bring themselves back into the game with those two players, since a lot of momentum rides on the back, especially off on attack off the back of that raise.
Okay, Nanoswarm did go down for U-Haul, but did get shot out once again. So both wasted now on the side of John Jay College. Karen just keeping a tight lock, expecting the jump up on top of the box. Playing a bit farther back on the angle, not to get caught out with poke damage. And it's going to be a contact walk up here for John Jay College. But the crossfire is going to come out on top. A double swing as well. Looking like a really clean round here for USF. They should be able to carry all guns into the next round.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, Chef, just that last player standing, May swinging out without fear, and a flawless all guns into the next round, just like you predicted. John Jay, it doesn't seem like they really have... this should be their buy-up round, but that last round they just couldn't contend with anything, because their usual equal strategy when they lose those pistols is to just go aggressive. But where is there to go aggressive on the attack? Because aggression is what is expected out of you, and I feel like those kinds of thrifty pushes only really work when it's unexpected. So now they're headed back towards the B site, flip-flopping back and forth. I feel like it would just do themselves a lot more good to try and commit to that A site once again, work up through showers a little bit more instead of just crowding themselves into short. But instead they're looking hookah, and I feel like this is just a harder site to push just because of the fact you have to hop out of hookah, and Hail the Polo has fallen victim to a player in the B cubby before.
Yeah, I think also because of the two sentinel situation, it's also important to try and fall off, because as as we're talking about, it absolutely melted there. Nano Swarm, then Teddy to follow up with the Spectre spray just to take down all the players. But then this is also the risk that USF runs by having both their sentinels on the same site. I was about to say, okay, I was going to talk about how, yeah, you can walk up through A, you can get behind them, whatever. But they have Spike down in that little pocket cubby, so this is going to be a tough one here for John Jay College to retrieve.
And it seems like they're also watching defender spawns, so they know that there's a possibility that they may get flanked through their own spawn, and they're set up for the trades as well. I mean, Teddy is no longer watching it, but Karen, I'm very bad at pronouncing this name. It's Karen, isn't it? Karen is watching it. Ooh. Oh, I was going to say that was such a well-timed peek from the John Jay players, but I feel like the best thing you could do now is just save the Vandal. Run away, Eden. Run away before you get run down. Actually, there is time. Just needs to find the last player, but no, May is tucked into the elbow, and Eden can't do much about it. Can't plant the spike, and just has to sit and wait for that next round to be the hero rifle to potentially bring John Jay back into the game.
Ooh, double digits now here secured for USF, stealing away the buy round of John Jay College as well, and JJC is actually looking to force up as a team from the looks of it, which will continue to put their...
Out of charge.
Okay, no. They're going for the half buy. A hero rifle in the hands of Eden is dead. But that was really risky. Had they actually committed to it, if they couldn't convert this round into their favor, it was going to be really difficult to rack up the rounds up against these double digits here.
And since they only have pistols and that one hero rifle, this is going to be definitely a lot harder as well. And they don't spot anything hookah side, so this B site is just so loaded up with Sentinel utility. I have no idea why John Jay would ever want to be headed in that direction. They also lose a player, and that's Chef, down by Octagon. So now USF and John Jay they have a huge disadvantage in terms of players. And Neko, though, gets taken down by Pauline while trying to pick up the Showstopper, and the Showstopper doesn't even find a pick. And now Karen is isolated in U-Haul. Pauline just creeping up now from that right corner, knows that there's someone in there, and just takes her down. Now has control over that power position, the way onto the front site without wrapping around through those through triple boxes. But Pauline, so strong now, having 3. It's the lockdown to stall. This is nicely done so far, and it also is the orbital strike for the post plant potential.
A lot of stall coming through, and Eden's gonna actually be able to recover a gun now. You have the orbital strike available, like mentioned. Tap does go down, but the spike isn't being stuck at the moment. May is just waiting, trying to bide some time, but not able to get through the TP, hoping to get some exit frags. But it doesn't matter, because Eden is dead does come out on top. That's 6-10 here, as John Jay College stave off an 11th round for USF.
I've got cash. Anyone need something?
USF kept off of that 11th. So John Jay, they're making their way back in. I think Eden is dead with the lockdown and the stall, but it was such an expensive round, investing both the orbital strike as well as the lockdown, but not expensive in terms of economy, since it was a more thrifty round. They had mostly sheriffs and frenzies and other upgraded pistols, but now it's USF that are on the save. Karen, having to stick to the sheriff, is able to avoid all the damage of the paint shells. This is a one-way as well, looking into short, but it doesn't seem like anyone's looking to stand behind that smoke. Instead, it's a rotation over to the B side. And I think these forced rotations over to the B site are probably the worst things that John Jay can run into, because of just all the pure utility that is being held onto the site.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, USF, they're so disciplined with their killjoy utility. You don't see it ever being popped unless it's a real commit towards sight, and now actually just completely dodging the alarm bot up long. Jinx Rose can hear that there's somebody on site at the very least. Gonna look away from elbow, allowing her to secure this kill. These are eco frags to come through, and a thrifty secured here by USF, taking them 11-6, and that has got to hurt. There's 5 rounds dividing these teams once again, but epitomes, I mean, John Jay College, I think what's difficult is, normally I would say, okay, maybe you want to try and get rid of that Sentinel utility early on, try to bait it out, but the way that USF is playing on the B site, it's just not really possible.
Yeah, and they also don't have a KO or anything to try and disable it, so that it doesn't try and go out, start shooting, and you can't activate the nano swarms and get that chip damage. But John Jay, I don't even know how that happened. I don't know how they got ecoed so hard when it seemed like they were all the way into the B site. They didn't even try to initiate the spike, and Teddy is just able to find that first pick and rendezvous out immediately onto long. Karen also knows that there's a lot of players towards that site readying the Nightfall. There's a counter Nightfall for John Jay, though, and Hello Panda might be able to get some value onto the A site and take down Karen, which I think has really been the monster of this A site bind so far.
We found one.
Prowler to come through towards short.
Find you.
The one-way smoke on box as well, so it denies that upper angle that I think John Jay College kind of struggled with towards short previously on the defense. You can see USF, they're looking to secure this round. You've already got the Nightfall out in hand, a guiding light to come through. Still holding the trigger on that so far, though, and we usually see a rotation over towards B here as the sky smoke does get laid down in hookah. But this is B's the site that you don't want to try ending on because of that killjoy utility that's always posted up.
And now the time is just so low, they have no choice but to commit. And Chef, very disciplined with the shots, is able to find the first, but Garen with the Nightfall on the singular player, a little bit overkill, I will say that, but securing the frag nonetheless. USF are determined to make themselves a map 3.
Ooh, match point. John Jay College. A 6-round climb, but the way that this attacking half has been going, it doesn't seem like that would come to fruition. Likely going to be seeing us taking it over to the decider that's going to be on Breeze. So both these teams really fighting it out here in this rematch. You did mention that the last time they played up against each other, it was a pretty tight game. So it's nice to see that between each of these matches, you can tell which one is more so the comfort pick. And now this one way still stalling out for quite a while here towards A short. I know that the Fade, Karen, should have just been able to hear the iPad being pulled out on the Brimstone, and Chef with the first pickup. It's a really nice opening here on the A site as they look to execute.
Ooh, taking down May as well. It seems like Hail the Polo trying to wake up here, but unfortunately is not able to secure a pick, going up into heaven, and the Nightfall as well coming out from John Jay, not able to find one. Teddy, however, is able to secure a pick with her tour de force, and now a 3v2 in Orbital Strike. Eden has been in this position before alongside Pauline, the Killjoy, and the Grim in the post plant, and now they're just anchoring the U-Haul. Has the lockdown up once again, but instead just going to save it and sit pretty behind this box, but goes for the 1v1 duel, and now Pauline in a 1v1 turns away at the wrong time as well. Teddy finds that third, and now the defuse going through for USF means that they are taking us to map 3.
Who, a 13-6 for a 13-6. Map 1 was closed out on Haven by John Jay College. Now USF returning the favor here on Bind, this best of 3 series. Both these teams are looking to go the distance. We do have the third map being Breeze as the decider after this epitomes, but we'll get to that after a short break while we refresh the lobby. We've gone the distance all the way to a third map. Each team took home one at 13-6, first being on Haven for John Jay College, the second being on Bind for USF Epitome. So that means we're headed over towards Breeze. A pretty different map compared to the first two that we saw. If anything, I want to say, as far as rotations and how separated defenders probably feel, most similar to Haven, but then when you actually look at the size of sites and the structure blueprint of the map itself, extremely, extremely different.
Yeah, I definitely think that Breeze is basically a large ascent, if that makes sense. I mean, on a very basic level, because the easiest way to make fast rotations, obviously, is through mid. But if you don't have mid control, then it is going to be very, very hard to entry onto either of the sites because there's just one choke point, and especially if it is being held by a Viper, then usually you will have to go through that decay, you will have to go through mollies. But it seems like USF have decided that they're going to stick with a pretty similar team comp. Some role switching, relatively. So they have Neko, who is usually a smoke sprayer on Sky. They have May, who played Brim last map and then Chamber the map before. It just seems like they don't really want to stick anyone on the Chamber, so it seems like Karen is going to be the one who is going to play that agent. While on the other side, it looks like they might be locking in Arena. I'm really not sure about this one though, because Breeze is such a large map, it really demands that kind of quick space making, and I don't think Reina can provide that.
Yeah, it's difficult because with how large the A site is specifically, it's really difficult to actually get that leer to contact and force the near site to happen because it's only effective at a certain distance, right? When you're holding really far back, towards back pyramids closer towards yellow, the leer essentially becomes ineffective. But we'll have to see how the use case does go through here for either team. But one thing I do want to point out is we saw Venus playing with John Jay College earlier today in the place of Pauline. This time around, it looks like she will be swapping in for Hello Panda. So that's another roster change to come in here for John Jay College. And maybe having, Venus, who played earlier on that Sky for them, now subbing in again, kind of just refreshing the roster a little bit might give them a slight advantage if they're feeling fresh. Or on the other hand of things, you have USF rolling with the momentum from last game.
Very true, especially since now USF is starting on the attack, and I think the attack is probably one of just the most important factors of win streaking and snowballing on the attack is getting that momentum.
Hawk out!
Kick things off. A really quick follow-up from Teddy alongside
Down
Guiding
A.
Light. But John Jay College, they're here to answer. Previously struggled on pistol rounds up against USF, but Chef is just owning here towards the A site. Karen, though, gonna punish them for their over-aggression in towards shop. Will have to pick the spike back up. Shooting out the 0 point will reveal her location once further. We're gonna lock onto the head of Hailed Apollo. So I just hope that John Jay College doesn't continue to give these 1v1 situations a double flank to come through. The Karen doesn't know it's both players. Gonna stick the plant here, left side of Pyramids, 10 HP to her name. Looking for an early fight, though, in this 2v1 situation.
Now, Karen, already narrowing it down to a 2v1, this is really good already. But it's also the fact that having the spike down, they know where the Viper is coming from because of the Viper. Toxic screen, and Karen is now spam on through. Ooh, Pauline does secure the trade though. And now Karen, even though getting a nice 4K, is unable to close out and Pauline finds that first pistol. Finally, John Jay are able to secure that first pistol and get the buy up.
Ooh. First pistol rounds here on the board for John Jay College so far in this best of 3. Perhaps the momentum that they need to turn this tide up against USF, who took the last map in the series. Will be a save round here, despite getting that plant secured over towards the A site. Once again, an A split looking to go down. And already you can see Pauline making her way towards elbow, clearing out that space. That gives a really nice and easy read here for John Jay College towards A.
Ooh, and the wall goes in through. I'm sorry, bless me. And now Rose, unfortunately, is unable to find that first pick. Venus with the spray down and Teddy with the trade, but immediate trade back from Chef. And now Karen on the other side of the map, still finding value on that chamber with the headhunter. Pauline, though, coming in to try and help the team retake. Oh, it's a frenzy! And Chef is unable to find one more, but Pauline with the jump peaks doesn't know where this player is. And he's just in such good position. Oh, the dink isn't enough, though! Pauline is still alive. You can owe that, I think, to the Reyna, the overheal, but still the frenzy is going to get the better of the fight. Eden, though, closes it out, but once again, down to the wire, and it's all off the back of Karen.
Ooh. Now, a buy up here for USF. Rifles across the board. Karen will have that tool de false online for the next round as well, in case this one does go awry. On the side of John Jay College, though, it might be interesting to see Chef trying to aggress and trying to get an early pick. Get that one closer to having the tool de false of their own online.
Let's play.
We're actually seeing... Okay, so... investing in the Vandal while also still popping the tool de false here for Karen as they push towards A.
Yeah, that's a really interesting choice, since you really want to use that ultimate to try and equalize on ecos, or maybe if you just think you can find a lot of time. But since they kill so many players, there's like really no economy on the side of John Jay. They don't have any guns, and they're still kind of using a little bit of overkill, I might say, but it seems like USF are having a grand old time being able to find that those few picks, and there's only one traded back, and that's onto their Sky. Pauline coming in now with the Sheriff, spots one, unable to connect the shot, and Tour de Force still active. Now rounding around orange. They don't know that there's a player tucked right beside the doors, though. Teddy can get a huge value out of this positioning, and it's 3K for Teddy. Jinx closes, and USF, as expected, do win their buy-up. I'm actually not sure if that Tour de Force did anything in that round.
It would have made sense to, you know, pop it if you wanted to go for a hero rifle instead in rounds on a potential, like, eco kind of situation. But I mean, them winning it out anyways on the University of Southern Florida, it doesn't really make a difference in this sense, but they could have, you know, saved a little bit more money using the eco alt and not buying the rifle. So that would have been, you know, the main impact that you could expect. But as I speak of impact, that's going to be the trip actually now nullified. Not that anyone is quick on the flank at the moment here from John Jay College. And a very aggressive trip actually towards A main, easily shot out by University of South Florida there.
Ooh, Karen and May able to find those first picks once again. Pauline going to use the Empress, and hopefully this can be the 1vx dream. Being able to take those fights, immediately dismiss out, get those fast repositions. Lear now out, knows where at least one is, but there's a player tucked close orange, and as Pauline is trying to take this fight, Teddy's about to round around, and Neko not needing the support from the Jet, but still, I feel like they were dead either way.
Whew, 3 ultimates online here for John Jay College, though, going into this eco round. So Chef will have the tool de false that University of South Florida will have to answer to. There's also the Seekers and the Vipers Pit available. Would be nice to actually see the Vipers Pit popped. Likely going to see that happen maybe towards the A site, or even using it for the retake situation to force out those closer quarters when you are on the eco weapons, especially considering the fact that it's going to be frenzies across the board for most of the members here on John Jay. Recon gonna catch out Pauline, expending now a couple shock darts, but Teddy flashed as she dashes in, will be caught out. The frenzies are doing hot work here on the B site.
And now USF finally at a disadvantage, but as I say that, Karen connects another good shot onto a player of John Jay, and that's their Viper, but still stalling out that attack. They are stopping the spike plant. May hits a shot on to Hail the Polo though, and it's all left up to one. Chef is so low, slowly walking up through, left at 1 HP after walking through the DK, but even then, only 11 HP left over. And it's a Vandal versus the Headhunter as well. But Chef has picked up now a Vandal.
Oh, the timing.
Tapping the spike. Neither of them know where each other are. What is this timing? They're playing Ring Around the Rosie.
May's playing this really well with the timing though. Just stalling, knowing that Chef is looking around, waiting for the final stick. And to walk up and stab Chef in the back. 4K for May to clutch things up, taking it 3-2 here for USF. But that was a near round conversion there from John Jay College. They definitely got as much use as possible out of those eco weapons. Did a lot of damage to keep USF from amassing too large of a saving sum as far as being able to afford more weapons in the next rounds. And now USF, they're not looking towards B after that one.
Yeah, USF, that was probably way too close for comfort for them. But May just gave us a masterclass in how to play time, play around the site, not ego peek and take the unnecessary fights. And they're going to use this aggressive wall through mid in order to get themselves through the mid doors. And from Nest, there isn't really an angle that they can get to. So Teddy, though, still stalled out at the double doors. Doesn't want to go too far in, but there's a flank coming in. Pauline, good position. Ooh, finds that first and has the overhealed as well. It's a Lear to stall out a little bit more. Unfortunately, it does miss, and Pauline is unable to find the second and really snowball into this team. But Chef, maybe Chef can be the change maker here.
Yeah, that aggression all the way towards spawn, you're not going to expect someone just to be pushing in and holding towards elbow. So Chef with 2 pickups, shutting down one of the Sky Cabbages as well. And now trying to get that other one, but unfortunately not quite able to chase it down. Teddy looking for an aggressive play. A risky one, at least does have the tailwind up, but just about to expire. Not deigning to continue to hold on to that angle in a 2v4 situation where they're heavily leaned towards B. Can't have the time to rotate over towards A with the positioning here from John Jay. This should be an easy round for them to secure.
10 seconds left.
Teddy only 10 HP, and oh, Eden rounding the corner with the judge. It's a free Vandal upgrade on the floor there, and now 3-3 on Breeze. USF, they still have money to buy back in. They have that Viper's Pit as well as the Blade Storm, so Teddy doesn't really have to invest into that rifle, and instead lets the rest of the team just buy into the Vandals while she's going to be picking out the Blade Storm. On the other side, it's a tour de force for Chef that's ready to be popped, and it's the Seekers to top it all off in the ultimate scoreboard. And on both of these sides, I want to say that USF does have a good lineup. Having both the Hunter's Fury as well as the Viper's Pit for a post plant is a very powerful tool.
This feels like a really late vault go out towards mid. Was raised and then dropped. Now Trailblazer trying to come up through double doors to gather a bit of information here for the attackers. And it is going to gather quite a bit as the A site hold is going to fall here for John Jay College. Teddy pushed up already towards bridge, not able to actually hit that updraft. And the retake's going to have to come through in a pinch here from Venus.
Player standing.
Able to get down one. And now Chef left alone with the tool de force, but there's a lot of time to work with. And the guiding light misses. Another one to come through. This one, a full flash.
Oh.
You're going to have to wait for that to expire. Time is ticking. You've got 4 players you've got to deal with in this post plant.
And there's that one player close right as well, and Teddy checks it, but oh, the second shot actually doesn't whiff, but it's just too little too late. John Jay, they get taken down, and now USF pull ahead once again by a singular point. They have another tour de force available on Karen. They still have the Viper's Pit as well as the Hunter's Fury. On the other side, it's the Empress again from Pauline. Has the Phantom in the hand as well, so maybe some more value can be found, but I feel like on the defense, especially Reyna can be a huge struggle agent here, and I think maybe an operator to control the mid angles might be beneficial for Pauline, but otherwise I don't know if Reyna can really have any impact on this server.
Twelfos watching the right side of pyramids diligently. Venus is really isolated right now here on the A site. Pauline not really having the angle considering the fact that the toxic screen is up, but she's dipping in and out anyways, able to get that kill down. Use the Empress and the dismiss out. A nice headshot to secure a second kill. The flash out, going to reposition, but unfortunately Teddy quicker to reflank around for the pinch. Now a 2v3 situation here. John Jay College, they have the advantage as far as players go. And that's going to continue on. But Karen really quick now. No longer has the tool to falls, but caught out with the utility, turning it into a 1v1 situation. Gonna get that info. Tool to falls back online, but Eden has the angle and going to tie things up here 4-4.
Unfortunate for Karen, but still so back and forth on this map. Neither University of South Florida or John Jay College able to get any kind of momentum going. It's just flip-flopping back and forth, and the tour de force, even though it found so much value, unfortunately the rest of the team fell apart, and it seemed like they had such a good start with Pauline being pinched around at orange, but then the rest of the defenders flanking on through double doors. They really need to hold on to that mid position and make sure that they can get themselves onto the site, because they tend to like to go for that A split, but since they are leaving themselves vulnerable at the back and they're not really getting a wall that makes it easy for them to escape back into main, they need to be very careful.
Yeah. Toxic screen to come through, but Pauline's looking for another walk up. Does see that. No. No, you covered your own trademark. Pauline gets the walk up for free.
Welcome to my world.
No way.
Oh my god. No.
No way.
Okay, going to... They don't even notice anyways. Luckily, Karen is watching from the window, but... You got the Viper's Pit now online in the post plant. Really interesting toxic screen to cut the site in half here for Eden is dead though. And, I mean, with the Viper's Pit up, you gotta use the Seekers. Try to seek out that Viper to take her down. Check the close corner.
What is that? Oh my gosh. No, the vision denial. It's too much. May, what? What is this happening? May literally just ran around. I don't think she stopped running during that spray, but because the decay had already brought them so low, then she was already able to take them down. But I feel like it might be a little bit better if you don't have your entire team playing inside the ultimate, because sometimes people are a little bit directionally lost inside the green cloud of whatever it is.
I think we all got a little lost in the sauce there.
Yeah.
Just overall. It was a really chaotic round. But, Trailblazer out early through double doors, so John Jay knows to expect some mid-presence once again. Oh, the aggressive angle, but nearly caught out with the dart in hand. Luckily, Karen is there to back Jinx Rose up. Nothing to be scanned behind pyramids on A. And it's just going to be a funnel through here towards back site. A really nice snake bite, though, to try and isolate a player towards Okay, doors opening. Tala, I'm really nervous.
Ooh. May took a really aggressive angle there, but now they lose the controller for the post plant. Fortunately, Neko and Karen are able to find a few of their own. It's all left up to Hale to Polo. It seems to not be having as much impact on the server as they would like to be, especially on the fast 2 maps. Now on the KO, can't get those explosive entries and just trying to run off. But Neko is able to get the wall bang kills, and USF, they've stringed together 2 in a row and pull ahead.
Whew. 2 more rounds left in the half, and both teams kind of being in a similar economy position. Okay, no, I just took a... Is no one gonna buy for May? Okay, there we go. I was just like...
You don't get a buy, May. Nope.
I was like, please don't do my girl May dirty like that, but the buy does come through. It is dead. Looking for a front sight. Toxic screen. Not going to cut through shop. Does end up getting tagged out by the owl drone as well. And this is tough because she's all by herself now towards the A site. Seekers to come through, and USF, they're looking to shut down this aggression towards mid. Pauline with the follow-up, though, will be able to try and even things out. Slowly taking one down. May still stuck. Not quite ready for Pauline there on the angle with the 3K. Now we're equalized here in a 2v2.
Pauline coming in with the leers. The spike has been planted, and it's good post-plant positioning, especially with the Sova so far back into shop and cave that they can just use the Hunter's Fury on the spike instead. And even though Pauline for the 4K on the board for the ace, they tap the spike. Pauline is just completely hightailing it into cave, and for some reason they just don't hear it. An ace for Pauline, but I'm not sure if they have the time because they both ran away. Do they have it? I think they do.
I believe they should. I didn't see the white halo come up, so yeah. Okay, they just got back in the nick of time. A little bit risky to have both players running it down all the way, because that was really just a second of a difference. And Pauline with the ace, I mean, you know, glad to see her back on the team here. Unfortunately, that we did miss her out on the first map. Maybe map number 1 would have gone a little bit, you know, differently. Wait, no, John Jay College won out map number 1. I'm gonna stop talking now and hand it back over to you. It's been a long day.
Get out of my way.
Well, at least they don't get caught out by the 0 point, because Teddy would have just immediately had the Blade Storm taken away. On the other side, John Jay, they have four ultimates available. Chef is just going to completely take Teddy off the board. That Blade Storm, no value here. But here's the tour de force off the back of that single kill being used immediately to watch this mid position. But looking at the mini-map, most of these players are postured towards A, have no interest in trying to head back towards mid. Hail Apollo, though, catches out Neko. And now Karen, unfortunately unable to find the player in the corner. It's looking like a 6-6 half so far, but maybe I should eat my words. But Pauline popping that Empress, definitely a scary sound right off the back of the ace.
Oh, no.
Not able to connect the shots on Jinx, though. And now if they can just isolate, May gets taken down. They know exactly where the last player is, just investing every single ultimate. It's last round anyway. They tap the defuse. Pauline swings around with the Empress, and they get the round as well.
Yeah, we're ending the half at 6-6, and I believe that's the half that we ended at actually on the side. No, we did not. We ended, I'm pretty sure, 7-5 on both of the previous maps, so clean slates across the board here for both teams. And a pistol round to boot. John Jay College now on the attack. University of South Florida on the defense. And it looks like John Jay leaning over towards the A side. What will be interesting to see is Pauline has had a lot of impact so far on the Reyna here for her team. So now having more of that liberty to be that entry, you know, you don't have to worry about becoming a hole in the defense here on Breeze, where defenders are so far spread apart, I think that we can see that individual prowess have a lot more impact on the team as far as, you know, securing site and making space.
It's definitely a lot easier on the attack to just decide to put a team in your backpack, since you can just make sure that your team is clearing, running in after you and taking up the space that you make instead of having to take those solo duels all the time, and making sure that you get the trades in. But ooh, Karen spots out the shoulder of Chef, but isn't expecting there to be a player just standing right there in cave. Goes for the rendezvous instead, forced to back yellow, and I think just waiting for the sky to come around so they have the possibility of the overgrowth. But no, actually busy fighting the fight in mid with Pauline. Neko not able to connect the second guiding light, throwing out a shoulder behind the elbow wall. And Pauline knows exactly where she is, but doesn't want to go for the spam.
Pauline's just waiting diligently. Playing really quiet here on this pistol.
30 seconds left.
SF also already heavily leans towards the A side. And now we're going to see Toxic Screen to come up. Backside here still claimed by USF, but this lurk from Pauline going to glean her 1 kill. A second as well, looking to get the third for herself. As Jinx Rose does have utility out. Karen so low. Pauline might just be looking to secure another ace on the board, but Eden is dead. Quicker to the trigger. Now May with a flank through double doors, looking to get...
You crashed out? No, I think that Ash might be having some technical difficulties on the game and production side of things, but now we see that John Jay has once again secured another pistol round. So Breeze, in terms of the narrative that has been going on for this best of 3, have been reverting it, since they have been able to actually secure rounds when they do only have the pistols and now have the buy up as well. Seems like a full push towards that B site, which is a little bit dangerous considering they do have that Viper sitting on the site, but Pauline's going to neutralize that, swing around for the kill with the Bulldog as well. And now the plant going down onto the site, going to use the poison orb to try and get themselves out. And Eden now looking towards elbow to try and anchor this position, make sure there's no flank. The trademark, they know there's someone there though. Teddy gets caught out. And John Jay are pulling ahead in the pistol. This is really scary for John Jay. Jinx throws, tried to round the corner, and now it's all left up to Pauline. Now 3 kills on the board. Pauline making so much space here, and the nice thing is also having that Bulldog, bringing it into the next round, means that you can still really contest those long angles even if the enemy team has Vandals.
Pauline's also 21-9 right now. Empress back online here. And I'm back as well. Had a little bit of a crash as far as my visual side of things, but we are back in business. And on the side, I mean, to secure that flawless round, huge advantage over for John Jay College going into their bonus. And we're going to see Karen's trying to take an aggressive shot angle with the rendezvous, but not quite peeking too far out. So can't be too liberal with an off angle that she is choosing. Elsewise would be stepping out of the anchor. And you can see how tentative John Jay kind of is to push in at this point. Venus, this guy should have a little bit of utility available to check things out, but actually just going to wait for this flank to come through from Chef as they take control of Halls.
Now Jinx Rose taking down Pauline. That's really the tip of the spear here. They're going to be having a little bit more trouble making space, but as I say that, Hail Apollo just swinging out of double doors with the widest swing towards Orange is now able to find one. Chef in good position now by the switch is able to find one towards Halls, pick up the Vandal as well, looking toward find another, and Neko goes down. Now it's all left up to May, who is just sitting by the bridge. This could be a bonus round win for John Jay.
Ooh, a huge round to convert an even farther advantage. May trying to isolate a player, will find one out on bricks, but the swing is there from Eden is dead, playing the contact position. And now here for John Jay College, they yield a 3-round lead over USF, forcing them onto another eco here. And we're likely looking at double digits coming here for John Jay College to serve up first.
Jay, they already have the buy up. They have Pauline with the Empress, and on the other side, they don't really have anything to contend. They have both Jet and Chamber, but neither of them have their ultimates available, so there's nothing much that they can do on this eco if they only have pistols. Pauline now going Champions Phantom in hand, trying to see if there's something that can find on this B-site. Spots out May towards the back of Castle's side, and they're just trying to spam her down, but with the help of some snake bites, might be able to stay alive, but as I say that, Hail Apollo just takes her head right off.
Pauline, Empress Pop, still looking for a frag as it's about a quarter away from expiring. So you gotta get that kill down to keep the ultimate alive. Venus, though, going to be good for 2 pickups. Chef watching the flank. He's able to get one down. But Karen, so hot with the Headhunter, able to secure a Vandal for herself. And at this point, with so little time left, you can't really hope to go for the defuse here. Just try to do as much damage as possible. Keep these players close to sight so they lose their guns.
Ooh. John Jay, they're able to just find another that's double digits just like you predicted. And now USF, they seem to be scrambling for anything that they can get. But I think briefly we saw Karen take out an operator. And I honestly think that might be what they need. To hold those long angles with the operator instead of taking duels with the Vandal. Just make it unfair as possible. The only problem with that is John Jay having the KO's flash drives, which are really difficult to dodge, especially with the operator. But if they don't clear out the angles properly, since there has been no operator in the server for basically the entirety of this best of 3, I feel like it could make a huge impact.
There's potential there, but I mean, on the side of USF, we're seeing this timeout being called. I don't think it's only the op that the issue is on their defensive side. It seems like they're playing a lot of punishable angles, to be honest. Kind of not expecting pushes in through certain choke points because they're distracted or have util out looking somewhere else, and that's been a pretty big downfall for USF, as John Jay College have just kind of found easy entries towards site because the players have been a bit easier, at least on the A site, to isolate from the rest of the team.
I definitely do agree that they aren't playing tradable angles very well. It's not like they're playing back and forth with the way that they are trying to hold, even because they go for this very aggressive angle. And even though Teddy doesn't get checked. Teddy whiffs the shot though, and Teddy doesn't have the tailwind, and Hail Apollo just turns around for the pick. They do take down Pauline, which is a nice addition to that, but other than that, Jinx Rose also going down means that there just doesn't seem to be much that this team can garner thus far. The John Jay squad are on a little bit of a tear on this attack. They're really favoring the aggression. They're really getting a lot of rounds under their belt off this momentum.
Oh, that didn't catch anybody.
Last player
Because the
standing.
poison orb, even his dad managed to just completely get away from that guiding light. Unfortunately, a couple shots missed there by Hailed Apollo, but able to reclaim the kill in the end anyway, securing that 3K. We're looking at 11-6 now here. 1 away from match point for John Jay College. It's also an eco round on the side of USF. So this is, I mean, this is looking like we'll likely see USF kind of struggling up against match point on their next bye at 12-6, unless the share shots can land true.
Yeah, I definitely think that USF does have potential for Thrifty, especially with the Viper's Pit being able to maybe find a little bit of value, but I don't think they want to invest such a huge ultimate onto an eco round, especially since popping a Viper's Pit early just denies the site and doesn't really secure frags. It just kind of funnels people. But now we have the Tour de Force being popped on John Jay. They're using the Seekers. They've got the Toxic Screen up. It's just a lot of coordinated utility towards the site. Oh, they're not expecting Teddy to play so close though. They're set up for the trade, so it's all good in the hood, but Chef is unable to get value with the Tour de Force as the Headhunter and the Sheriff that ring true. Pauline though, aggressive angle, it's a 2K, and now can use the overheal to get those shields back. Knows where the last player is, but Neko is so good with those Sheriff shots. It's all left up to one. Eden though drops the Toxic Screen just in time.
Really nice plan with the Toxic Screen drop. Neko thought that, you know, she had the time to traverse over towards the deep side of Pyramid, and now we're looking at match point here for John Jay College. They have 2 ultimates available, but also there are 5 here for University of South Florida. The only thing is, yes, technically they could use all 5 of them to try and secure the round win as a guarantee, but then that also leaves you with nothing to work with in future rounds, and it's a long climb from here with the 6 rounds to take it to overtime.
Yeah, this is a very scary situation to be in, since you have to play perfectly 6 rounds in a row in order to be able to get anything. And John Jay, I'm not sure if they're trying to disrespect this Viper's Pit and they're just looking to push right into it, but with the spray on through, they might be able to find May's position. They at least know where May is because of that 0 point, but they use the null command and unfortunately don't execute off of it, so they've kind of lost an ultimate for themselves there. Teddy whiffs a shot once again, and now they have that sky, so the overgrowth comes in handy. But the Hunter's Fury, they're trying to find something, and while they're busy dodging, Teddy is just going to swoop in for a pick. Neko is also taking down Pauline. Now in a 3v5, USF are in an advantageous position. May is going to just lengthen that lead by taking down Venus, but now it's Hailed Apollo's turn to shine, and she's going to find 1. Chef finds 2 though. That's a complete equalizer for this John Jay squad, and Chef has decided that she wants to play aggressive as well.
Rendezvous towards the back of site, so has some CT control. Actually hasn't pushed through enough to actually gather whether USF would be retaking from that location, but the snake bite to come out is going to be the downfall of May here. However, not really refraggable angles, but it doesn't matter because a 4K here from Chef is going to be the win round differential here for John Jay College as they take this series 2-1.
And John Jay, they finally close out on Breeze, and it was looking a little dicey for them, especially in that first half, trading rounds back and forth, but it seems like they just did favor that attack in the end and were able to close it out 13-6 with, I think there wasn't a single defensive round that USF was able to win, and I don't find that completely surprising considering defense on Breeze is difficult just because of the sheer scale of the map and the fact that you can get run down very easily, and it's also the fact that I think Pauline was just having a huge pop-off performance, especially on the defense, so that made up for a lot of the gaps that you might have in utility. And if your team is a little less coordinated in some ways, then I think it definitely helps to have someone that's just playing at the top of their game.
That's definitely for sure. But this also marks the end of the ECAC Esports All-Star Women's and Non-Binary Showcase. We're going to be closing out the stream here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and congratulations, GG's to both teams, but the big congrats goes over to John Jay College for taking that first place title here in this showcase. It's been a pleasure casting alongside you, Epitomes, but for now, we've got to say goodnight.